Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. First thing I want to do is shout out our sponsors. Defend Hawaii's been with me from the start. They have a store in Windward Mall called No One, but if you go on their website, defendhawaii.com, they have a bunch of new drops for summer. They also have a new Hawaii football line coming out. Go check them out. Defendhawaii.com. Use promo code ATBPod upon checkout. You'll receive 15% off whatever you purchase. Next, we have IREP Detail Supply, and they are a one-stop shop detail supply superstore for anything you need to detail your car, truck, van. They also have classes, and they just opened a new shop in Las Vegas. Shout out to Kaika. They have their original store at Temple Valley Shopping Center, but if you go to irepdetailsupply.com, promo code ATBPod upon checkout, you'll receive 15% off your entire purchase order. Next, we have Hawaii Candy Factory, and their stuff is everywhere. You see their cute packaging called Noms, is Lihimui gummies, Gushers. My favorite is the peach rings with lemon peel. But go check them out. HawaiiCandyFactory.com. Promo code ATBPod upon checkout. You'll receive 10% off your entire purchase order. Last but not least, we have our medicinal mushroom company, and it's a locally based medicinal mushroom company, and they have four tinctures of extracted mushrooms. They have lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and red reishi. If you go on their website, it'll detail and explain exactly the medicinal benefits for each of those mushrooms. I take all of them. I take the chaga, the turkey tail, and the lion's mane in the morning, and I take the red reishi at night to help me sleep. But go check them out, medmushroomhigh.com, promo code ATBPod upon checkout, all capitals. You'll receive 45% off your first tincture of whatever mushroom you want. Go check them out. Aloha. Okay, guys. Well, I just want to say I'm sorry for being away so long. Truth of the matter is, I was in Florida for my daughter's volleyball tournament. They had a AAU national volleyball tournament, and it was for her club, Strive High. Shout out to their Strive High U 14U team. They did super good. They made it to the semis in their bracket or division, and they played very well, and I couldn't be more proud of them. We also got to stay in Florida for a little bit and went to Disney World. Unfortunately, on the last day, I was not feeling too good, and by the time I came back home to Hawaii, I tested positive for COVID. I lost my taste, my smell. I was shut down for a week, so obviously I couldn't record anything, but um we're back now. Just to get back in the swing of things, we're gonna do just a small Q&A question and answer I put on Instagram. If there are any questions that you want to ask me, would answer them on the podcast. So I got a list of questions here, and we'll start getting back into the swing of things with this Q&A, and next week I'll have another guest on, and we'll continue to put out good content. And thank you for staying with me and listening. And yeah, sorry for the missed couple weeks, but yeah, I wasn't feeling too good, and kind of excited to get back at it. I've been missing doing this, so yeah. But let's get into it. Thank you for everybody that submitted questions to me. Some of them were stupid, and I'm not gonna ask myself those questions. This is weird though. This is the first episode or podcast that I'm actually doing by myself with no guests, or yeah, it's just me pretty much talking to myself. Fortunately, my cat's here, so I'm not totally alone. So let's see how this goes. Okay, but yeah, thank you for everybody who submitted questions, and nice questions that I can answer, not stupid. Like, you didn't believe the dumb stuff I got, but whatever. Um Okay, so let's have at it. Let's see. Number one, what was your most funnest episode or favorite episode? What was the most favorite episode that I had? Um, okay, well, to answer this, I can't really pick just one episode. There were so many episodes I've had throughout the last 3.5 years that inspired me, made me laugh. I had great conversations. I I couldn't pick one, I guess. I really can't. Um yeah, I mean there were a lot of great conversations I had with many of our guests, and yeah, there's no way I could just pick my favorite. I can pick a bunch of them, but um it depends. It depends what I'm in the mood for. So I don't know. I honestly can't pick my favorite, but maybe you guys can. If you guys shoot me a DM on Instagram, let me know what your favorite episode was. That'd be kind of cool. I would like to know. But for me personally, I couldn't just pick one. I'll do the safe answer. All three episodes that I've done with my daughter. And that's my favorite. Kind of an easy answer. Okay, number two. What is your most hated chore? I would say doing dishes. I hate doing dishes. Well, actually, I hate folding laundry more than I hate doing dishes. I don't mind washing the laundry. I don't mind hanging it up and putting it in a dryer and all that stuff. I just don't like to fold it. And there's multiple days where my laundry is in a basket on the couch and I'm just pulling stuff out of there. I don't even put it away because I don't want to fold it. So yeah, I'm trying to get my daughter to fold laundry as her chores more, but one of it's weird though. One of my favorite chores I like to do is cut the grass. And I don't know, I don't like doing it, but I like the satisfaction I get when it's done and it looks cool, and I just busted my ass outside in the hot sun. And yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I like cutting the grass when it's done. I don't mind doing it. It's kind of a good cardio workout as well. And yeah, it's something I guess I like to do. I don't want to sign up to do it, but since I got to, that would probably be my favorite chore to do. Let's see. Do you let your daughter have social media? Well, this is kind of tricky. The answer is yes and no, I guess. I let her have Instagram. She has a new one for her volleyball clips and stuff, but obviously I'm running it. Well, not really running it, but I have access to it. So I can see who's adding her or whatnot, and I keep tabs on it. And she may not like it, and too bad. She has TikTok as well, and that I also have her password and monitor it. Maybe when she gets a little older, I don't need to do it anymore. I do trust her, and from the person that she is, I don't really have to take much tabs on it, but there's a lot of crazy people out there, so it's more for me to keep tabs on what's coming in versus her putting stuff out. And yeah, it was a hard decision. Both her mom and I had to talk about it, and it was we came to the decision where she can have it, but we got to monitor it. So I hope that answers your question. And there's no right or wrong answer. I Some people um let their kids have social media and some people are against it. That's just what my opinion about it is. Okay. The silliest reason I've ever gotten into trouble. Hmm. I don't know. Let's see. Huh. The silliest reason I've ever gotten into trouble. I don't know. I would have to think about that. I know um we wrote we wrote in high school, me and one of my friends wrote a fake love letter to the teacher and made it from another student, like not from us. So we made it coming from somebody else. And yeah, I guess we got in trouble for that. So that'd probably be the silliest thing. I don't know. I'll probably have to think on that. I'm sure there's way more stupider or sillier reasons why I've gotten into trouble. Um, if you could explore the ocean or space, what would it be? 100% the ocean. Just because I feel like if you're in space, there is nothing to do. Zero. Like there's nothing to do. Like you can look and that's it. Oh, there's a moon, the stars, whatever. And then you can look at Earth and that's where you need to be. So I don't feel like that would be something I would want to sign up for. Actually, I after that whole submarine thing, trying to look at the Titanic, gave me a lot of anxiety thinking about it. So I don't even know if I would do the ocean, but if I had to pick, I would explore the ocean. At least you can see different animals and living things, and you can explore places that no one's ever been, I guess. But the main thing is you're still on the freaking planet. That's that, at least that makes sense, right? I'm not having to worry about getting back to a planet. That's an odd question. All right. Okay. My favorite movie. Okay, what is my favorite movie? What is your favorite movie? Huh. My all-time favorite movie would be it's hard to list, I mean to just pick one, but if I had to pick one, I would pick The Lost Boys. When I was growing up, I thought that was like the coolest movie in the world. I like the music from it. I like vampires and them flying. I like that they lived in a underground hotel that was torn down. It was I just thought when I was growing up that the Lost Boys were super cool and being a vampire was cool, and that was my favorite movie back then, and to this day it probably still is my favorite movie. There's a lot of other movies that I do like, uh funny ones. I don't know. If I had to pick one, it'd be Lost Boys and go probably it's probably came out in the late 80s, so I don't know if you guys even know what the Lost Boys is, but go Google it or go watch it. Um The Crow was one of my favorites. Bruce Lee's son. Um I don't know. There's too many to mention. I liked all the Star Wars, all Indiana Jones. I liked um Goonies. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot, but my all-time favorite would be Lost Boys. All right. Okay. Name one book that changed my perspective on life. Well, I like to be able to say that I read a lot of books that helped me change perspective in life. A lot of books that I did read were more entertainment. The two books that I did read that were for personal growth was the Celestine Prophecy, which was about your energy and your aura, and then the to answer this question, the book that changed my perspective was it was called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, and it was about um a runner that met like a like a guru kind of person, and he kind of put him on a path to be a peaceful warrior and to take life in certain aspects for what it's worth. Go check out that book. I guess the other book I did read was The Alchemist, and that was another life-changing book that I read. I wish I could say I've implemented a lot of the things I've learned from those books. I wish I could say I implemented them a lot. Um to be honest, I read those books a long time ago. So, but I remember thinking it made me a better person. So I would say those three books. Yeah, I gotta start reading more. I think Hoppa Boy just gave me a book that I need to start. It's from one of the singers, Russ, and he said it was inspirational to him, and he gave it to me to read. And then when I'm done, he's gonna give it to his brother. But what's cool is he already highlighted all the cool stuff. So when I read it, I know what to look for. But yeah, shout out to DJ Hoppa Boy for putting me on that. Okay, next question. Let's see. What is the biggest challenges the younger generation faces today? Well, that's a weird question. Shoot, from what I've seen in the younger generation now, and this is basically just my opinion, is that the younger generation worries too much how they are perceived by other people. So their life is pretty much based around how other people perceive them versus them being true to themselves. So I would say the biggest challenges the younger generation has, in my opinion, is being true to themselves. They want to be depicted in a certain way, especially with social media, that doesn't really portray who they really are. And it's easy to kind of play an image or a persona on social media, which some could be true, some could be something you want to be. But I feel like our generation needs to be little bit more, or the younger generation needs to be a little bit more true to who they are instead of who they think people want you to be. I guess that would be my take on that. That's a kind of cool question, I guess. All right. Let's see. Um, okay. How did I know my fiance was the one that I should propose to? Or I guess it just says, how did I know my fiance was the one? Well, this question is pretty intense, I guess. I was divorced and I had a daughter, and I have my daughter. I at the time, being in a relationship was the farthest thing from my mind. I thought there's no way a girl would want to be with me. I'm a nightclub promoter. I have a daughter. I come with all this baggage, and um I really didn't care. I didn't really put much thought or effort into thinking like, oh, okay, now I gotta go find another girl to marry or be with. I was like, probably won't happen. Honestly, I don't really care. So whatever. And then I met Sasha, who's my girlfriend and well, fiance now, but um it took a while, and not because of anything she's done. I had a lot of misconception about relationships and a lot of hangups because of my previous relationships, and I went through a divorce and a custody battle, and I was kind of hesitant. I was very hesitant for her to meet my daughter at first because, I mean, for one, I didn't want my daughter to have a bunch of aunties. Like, I didn't want to bring a lot of girls around my daughter unless I kind of knew this might be something. But at the time, I was, like I said, I wasn't really trying to create a relationship. But as the years went by, the person that Sasha is strengthened my belief in, wow, maybe I could be in a relationship. And it we had our ups and downs, and she stuck by me through everything. I think her being there when my mom was sick and being there for me played a lot into it. But the biggest thing I can say why she is the one is because of who she is. She is a selfless person. She gets along with my daughter and goes above and beyond what anybody could do for their own, not just my kid, but their own kid. And she treats Arya like she's um like part of the family. And she treats Arya like she's as if she would treat her own kid. And the biggest hurdle for me was just breaking down the walls and being receptive to it. And um I think throughout the relationship, and I've been with her for like a long time, so as we got closer, I started to start understanding that I'm gonna have to make a choice, and understanding that we're gonna have to take this to the next level. And it honestly, I was afraid, and there were things in my life would help break down those walls and help me realize, like, okay, like this is the winner. Like I think the fact that she um felt so strongly that I was the one for her. Um she had no wavering beliefs and doubts. So I always thought that that was amazing. But it's kind of weird. One of the biggest moments that put things into perspective was last year. We had a volleyball tournament, the same national tournament, but it was in Chicago. And I'm filming my daughter and whatever, watching her play during the game and stuff. And when I went home and edit the videos, what for some reason snatched my heart was listening to Sasha cheer for my daughter while she was playing, and her screaming. And so, like, Sasha could give two rips about volleyball prior to my daughter playing. She didn't know it, care about it, or nothing. And the passion she was cheering, not just Arya's team, but Arya, and how excited she was for her to when she did something good, and how she kind of helped pick her up if something bad, like a play didn't go their way. It was like that. For one, you can't fake. That was genuine love. And um for some reason that just um I guess put a spark in my head, and was like, Thad, you gotta understand, like, this is the one. And from that point forward, I kind of started taking steps to being able to um break all those walls down and be down and propose. And I honestly was the one of the best moments of my life. And I think um in this whole situation, Arya and I are winning. um Sasha got to deal with me, so that's that's pretty nuts already. But yeah, I think both Ari and I are blessed to have Sasha in our life and be part of our family. And yeah, wow, that was a cool question. All right, all right, this is a stupid one. Why am I a stupid 49er fan? Well, first off, I'm not a stupid 49er fan because the 49ers aren't stupid. Um, I think the start of me being a 49er fan had to do with one of my Cub Scout leaders when I was about six years old. He was a 49er fan, and at the time they were in the Super Bowl, and I remember he was super excited for them, and for some reason it transferred to me, and I've been a 49er fan since. I've been a 49er fan since I was about 6, and every year I've been a 49er fan. And yeah, it's I guess it's weird for people to think about sports and how you become a fan, and how personal and how much you think you're involved, but I was thinking about it last season when we were in the Super Bowl, and it wasn't just about the 49ers winning the Super Bowl. It was about all those moments where I usually watch the games at the Shack, and the people I met there became friends, and some of them even almost like family. They're at my daughter's different events in her life, and they come to the house and they met my parents, and we've formed a bond. And throughout the years, the highest highs and the lowest lows of the team, how they're doing, and it becomes like part of your community, and it gives you that sense of pause of life. For 3 hours on a Sunday, you're not thinking about, oh, I gotta do this at work, or oh, I gotta take this and do this, or I gotta, I'm so bummed out about this. It's, you're with your friends having a few beers, cheering for a team that you like or love, and nothing else matters. And for that 3 hours, you become a part of something, and could be just all in my head, but if you see the way get into it, um definitely a part of me. And I think for a lot of people, sports is a way to let out emotion and take a pause from real life. Like, I'm never going to be running the football for the 49ers. I'm never going to, if they win, it's really not going to affect how I am as a person. I'm going to be super happy, but um yeah, and it's the moments you share with certain people while watching the games. I think that's what's the most biggest importance. Or like fighting. I'm a huge UFC fan, and some of those fight parties and excitement and who I'm with, and being around my friends watching the fights, like that's that's the fandom, I guess, not just, oh yeah, I'm watching the 49ers or watching UFC. It's who you're doing it with and the memories you create on those days. And yeah, it's been, I mean, some of our fight parties went on till 4 in the morning. But anyway, yep, I'll always be a 49er fan. And they're not stupid. Anyway, let's see. Who is your favorite fighter? Well, this one's gonna take a little bit of thought. Um, I'm a huge MMA fan, and I have a lot of different fighters that I do like. That's my favorite. Um I would say there's a bunch of them. Of course, from Hawaii, BJ, Max. I was a huge Jose Aldo fan. Right now I'm a big Style Bender Izzy fan. I like I like the competitiveness in them. I think right now I would probably say I liked a lot of our local fighters. Russell Doan, I was a huge fan of Russell Doan. My friend, and it was fun to watch him fight. I liked Louis Smoka. I was a big fan of him. I got to see him fight in the UFC as well as Russell. Um for me, fighting wise, I have two favorite all-time fighters, and they're probably people you probably never even heard of, but they're my two cousins, Booby Simeona and Lyle Baldonado. And they were the two people that trained with me when I used to compete in martial arts. And they were the probably the two biggest influences, not only in my martial arts career, but a lot of part of my life. Booby, he was just a badass. Fortunately, he was one weight class above me, and his tenacity, his speed, and his power, and the way he could teach was what I always loved about him. But I've seen him knock somebody out and catch them before they hit the ground. I seen him. I mean, I sparred with him, and he literally broke my nose and told me I was bleeding on the mat. Like he he was just somebody I really admired, and his teaching skills. The three of us taught kickboxing and taekwondo together, and the way Booby taught, and that's his real name, Booby. He was very articulate in the way he could get his thoughts across, especially to kids, for them to become better fighters and competitors. He was just his skill level and the the way he how fast he was just mind blowing. He could kick faster than anybody I've ever seen, and he could punch and kick harder than anybody I've ever seen. I can honestly say though, the last time him and I sparred, I back kicked his headgear off his head. I don't know if he remembers it, but I will always remember it. But the last time me and him sparred, I did that to him. Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite fighters to watch, fighters to train with, and like yeah, he's just bad. He's a bad dude. Um, to this day, I would put him against 99% of Earth that he would win in a fight. Two titanium hips and all, but yeah, Booby Simeone, that guy's a badass. And the second one is Lyle Baldonado, and this guy uh from the first moment I started training, the first day I sparred with him, I remember it clearly. He did a switch kick and punted me right in the face, and his famous line was, "Bruh, you got to keep your hands up." And I used that to the newbies that came in after that. But that was my first sparring moment with him, and um Lyle, watching him fight, he was fearless. To watch him fight, like he didn't care. He could be fighting King Kong, he could be fighting Godzilla, and he would have the belief in himself that he was going to win. And I always admired that about him. With me and him, we had a different dynamic in our relationship versus my relationship with Booby. Booby was more like a mentor and a um someone that helped teach me and train me. Lyle did as well, but me and Lyle basically were the bestest friends, but we on the when it came to training, we were the biggest competitors. Like if we were gonna run, I would try outrun him. He would try outrun me. If we were gonna do drills, I was gonna try outlast him. He was gonna try outlast me. We pushed each other more than anybody else. And when we sparred, we didn't spar. We were fighting. He was trying to knock me the fuck out, and I was trying to knock him the fuck out every time we sparred. And the the gym would stop when we would spar, and I basically would try to kick the shit out of him and punt him and punch him and as hard as I could, like if we were fighting for real or in the ring. And he would do the same to me, and I definitely owe my tenacity to him because he pushed me. And the days I didn't want to, he wouldn't let up. Like the days I wasn't feeling it, or the days that I was having a bad day, or he didn't give a shit. He would try and beat the crap out of me, and like we would have the biggest wars. And honestly, as soon as the bell rang, we were brothers again. But it was that guy I would always try to one up, and he would always try to one up me, and we became better athletes for it. Um, like I said, when he would go in the ring, he would do stuff I've never seen him do during practice. Just his fighting stance, or there's one fight he had his hand up like this that he never did in practice, and to throw off his opponent. I don't know what he was doing, but he would level his game up the moment he stepped into the ring for real competition, and he would hit another level that I've never seen him hit during practice or training. And he would just, he had the hardest back leg round kick on planet Earth. Like when he landed his kick, the whole arena or gym or wherever we're at, it would just echo, and he could kick hard. Like he could stop anybody in their tracks with his kick. And for me and him, we got to compete. It was always when we were in the state tournaments, they would be on, I would be on one side of the bracket, he'd be on the other side, and we'd always say, meet you in the meet you in the championship. And we did a few times. We I have a this iconic picture in my life of me fighting him at Block Arena in a Taekwondo tournament, and just so happens Booby is our referee, and it's such a cool picture because I guarantee in his head he's trying to knock me the fuck out, and in my head I know I was trying to knock him the fuck out, and I think he won, and fortunately neither one of us got knocked out, but we definitely pushed each other more than anybody has pushed. I don't know. Like we would have some, like if I could have the videos of our gym wars, like it was crazy. And yeah, because of him, not just I was a better martial artist, but because of him, I was a better person. Um, yeah, he had no fear. That's one thing I did admire him, was he had no fear, and his belief in himself and his abilities was second to none. Like he had zero doubt. He didn't care if he was fighting a national champion, a world champion. In his head, he's stepping on that mat. His opponent is garbage, and he's gonna, like, that's just, he just believed in himself that much. And I definitely um use that a lot for life, and that's something I've learned from him. Yeah, he's fearless. So those two, Booby and Lyle, are my favorite fighters ever, and they probably always will be because of their impact on me personally. Wow, that was kind of cool to talk about. Well, I think those are all the questions I'm gonna answer for now. I'm just trying to get back into it. I know that it was a long break, and I understand that a lot of you guys listen to my podcast to get through work or your day drive or whatever. So I apologize. I did feel like I needed a little break, but this was kind of long, and of course because of COVID. But I am definitely back, ready to get back at it, and we'll have some new guests coming on. Got some cool ones coming up. Also, I like the fact that I get to edit it, and I miss doing that. I miss creating stuff, and I appreciate you guys for bearing with me. I also thank you for um watching and tuning in. If you want, you can find me on Instagram. We are Above the Bridge Podcast on Instagram. Our YouTube channel is Above the Bridge Podcast. My personal IG is Daddy Daddy High, and our website is atbpod.com. Thank you again. This was a short one, but just trying to get back into it. And then next week we'll have a new episode with a new guest, and we'll be rocking and rolling. Thank you again. Aloha.